Hey there, so do you ever see something play out and you think, wow, that was really funny? I want to tell people about that. Well, that's this story here from Bounding into Comics. Now, I watched this play out live. I, in fact, talked about it via live stream, but I think this is something worth setting down in video. Comic artist Pro Secrets has already made fun of it. This is the tale of Dusty Good. Now, if you say, I don't know who that is, that umbrella guy, well, you shouldn't. This was a freelance writer for Comic Crusaders, but basically what he was is somebody that just tried to take comic fun, chop off the end on it, and tried to leave you with a little bit of comic FU. Unfortunately, he wasn't very apt at that, and the cosmic FU stepped in his way and decided to nest at his house, making other plans. Now here, basically, you'll see him start to play this out, talking about them there alt-right trolls. Love making the alt-right trolls dance. They can't help themselves. They're idiots. They don't realize that the more they respond, the more they retweet and tag, the bigger my reach grows. Ethan Van Sciver and Diversity in Comics Goons are the best PR free can buy. Ha 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 ha. Now when you look at this too, you notice one thing, right off the bat. One like. He's talking about the best PR you can get. Well, he got one like out of it. Not very good at that PR campaign, are we, buddy? He got 15 people to comment by the time the article was made. Pretty slow day there on the news front as well. Then he decides to go and double down a little bit more, get a little bit uglier, and earn 77 comments and 4 likes within this. Newsflash for the alt-right comics trolls. The industry, hobby craft, doesn't want or need you. You are not welcome here. The cosplay girls won't fuck you. The pros absolutely hate you. Your fellow fans despise you. Go ahead and continue to circle jerk each other on Kickstarter. Well, about those cosplay girls. I don't know many girls that go out and say, you know what I want? I want something that looks like a Mr. Potato Head with a side of Gia Pet. I mean, maybe I don't know cosplay girls, but I would say that a lot of what he's talking about with them not wanting to actually F someone there, I would say that comes from knowledge, at first-hand accounts. Noticing a little bit of that back hair jive going on. He is one of those smooth operators with about 4 chins, not by the hair of my chin, but what do I know? Maybe those contacts when those cosplay girls put them in, the Chia Pet, the fact that you're setting down and you feel like you're setting and rubbing a werewolf, maybe that makes the women go wild. Now, when you go into the pros absolutely hate you, I know quite a few pros that think absolutely the opposite. You know why? Because pros like money. If you're not a professional, if you go out and you pick up, pandering above profit, well, then maybe you do despise people. Unfortunately, when you despise them, you're the kind of person that wants to turn down money. Because you know what? It isn't about liking people. I find most of those people that you're probably talking about there are utterly reprehensible individuals, so that's okay. I'm sure that we wouldn't be friends, and well, if they would be your friend, I guess that talks about them too. And then you talk about your fellow fans despise you. I don't know exactly who you're talking about there. I mean, when you're talking about fans anyhow, you go ahead and shortchange people. Now, if it's you and the 4 people that like there, I'll take my chances and say, well, don't need them anyway. But you know what? This is a pay-to-play experience. And all of these people here, even if everyone else within all of it hated you, it's still your money, and the grievances are really well worded. Now, when you're talking about the circle jerk on Kickstarter, well, of course you bring up the $300,000 in a minute. We'll get to that. In other words, kick rocks, you thirsty bitches, says the guy who wants all the retweets in the world. Why? Give me those retweets, you thirsty bitches. It seems a little bit backwards there. Now, continuing on, we raised $300,000 on Kickstarter. We're legit. Nobody worth a shit cares. Even the KKK had financial backing. In fact, I bet that's the driving force behind crowdfunding. Quick, someone check if David Duke's grandparents are holding issues of Jawbreakers or Cyberfrog. Again, managed 1 like within all of that. 22 people talking about it there. But this kind of stuff here, it's the thing that gets him the attention he probably didn't want. Because when you're trying to go out and you're trying to troll people, it's one thing to say people can't get laid. It's one thing to say that people are not liked, but it's another thing to say that they're backed by the Ku Klux Klan. Now, Bleeding Fool, another place that you've probably heard of and one that is very likable, you can see them out there picking up on this because that is something that does not fly. Complete, unprovoked, ad hominem attacks on a respected and successful comic creator is what we've come to expect from SJWs like Comics Crusaders. Oh, you see exactly who that's going to. The place of employment there. Here's one degenerate jumping into Ethan Van Sciver's mentions in order to drag him and his fans obscene and immature. What's new? So you can see exactly how that sets up there. And then, of course, Comic Crusaders, they managed to get themselves tagged into it yet a few more times. And you can see, too, Dusty Good here, he's tagged them into it. Wow. Is this how Comic Crusaders conduct themselves when engaging with hashtag comics creators they disagree with politically? Our BF writers would be reprimanded for these sort of disgusting attacks, and we regularly clap back on creators, but this is ugly. Hashtag gatekeepers, hashtag triggered, and you can see again the way that goes. Now, the next entry that Dusty adds, it doesn't have the saltiness that the last ones do. It doesn't have the thirst displayed or the FU rendered. No, it says he was issued an ultimatum by Comics Crusaders. Either I issue an apology to Ethan Van Sciver, Diversity in Comics, for my comments, or be released from the website. So he says, continuing that, I would like to officially apologize to the fans that I hurt by no longer writing for Comic Crusaders. I'm willing to put my nuts on the chopping block for what I believe. Can you say the same? Wow, out of that, you got you 5 likes because still nobody cares even when you're going to apologize, and 3 when you decide to give it up, and one of those there just to say is Comic Crusaders. Maybe they were glad to be rid of you. I mean, really, when you think about this person here and you think about the level of cultivation they have 410 followers, and they've been writing for a place for 3 years. Can you imagine that there? But you know, he decides to continue on with this, talking about how he's going to get his freelance gig because he's a free agent. He's waiting for those non-paying comic review gigs to flood his DMs. And then he decides he wants to throw shade because he thinks that he's going to go out and he's going to get his podcast going because people are going to want to listen to that same old that they've heard time and again. He thinks he's actually going to build something on the back of that. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people just like you out there, Dusty, that try to be villains. They try so hard to be hated and loathed, but unfortunately, they're not good at it. I mean, if you were good at actually bringing points and counterpoints, maybe people would listen. If you were out there and had charisma, maybe people would be attracted to it, but it doesn't seem like you reflect any of that. Instead, it sounds like the same tired tribe that a lot of people say. So when he's talking about having audio henchmen here and who wants to hear me melt a mic against the alt-right comics fans, we get 5 whole likes within that. Wow, burning it down. So here's Comic Crusaders that came in and said, to keep in line with the drama-free zone mission, we have parted ways with Danger Dusty. His actions are not at all a reflection of what we stand for. All we want to do is share nerdy, geeky goodness and not shine light on negativity. Now, one thing that I did not like within that is this not shine light on negativity. I hope that when you're talking about that, you mean Dusty, Danger Dusty, or whatever, and you're not talking about the thing that he was talking about, because the way that reads, that actually sounds like what you displayed here. You're saying you're shining a light on negativity over there. Maybe that's not what you meant. Maybe it does. I'm going to try to think of it as a different thing with hashtag peace, but, you know, maybe that could have been worded a little better. Still, right response to this. So Dusty Good talks about how how he was there for 3 years. They were a great team. I wish them the best. Some fights are better won alone. I'm not sure what fight you think you have there, Dusty, nor do I know what fight you think you're going to win. I've seen a lot of people go out there and they try and try and try to cultivate this following because they think that this is the perfect way to build it. Unfortunately, it's never made manifest because, you again are not someone that really exemplifies what people out there want to follow. You're probably the wrong shade. You probably have the wrong tone. You don't have many points within it. And again, you're the wrong gender within that stuff, too. I mean, when you're looking at all of that, if you listen to the people that you're agreeing with, you don't fit the bill of what they want. So here, we're going to let Ethan Van Sciver finish this up. This is literally the saddest thread I've ever read. Is it worth a video? Yeah, maybe. It was. He made one. Maybe it helped this poor dope out a little. Dusty, I'm going to let you be our supervillain. Okay, Shorty? Go rip us up. Aw, wasn't that nice of Ethan Van Sciver? I mean, what a good guy. Even when this guy is saying that he's connected to the KKK, he has to be nice because what a tragedy. It would be like redneck Shakespearean proportions when you look at this because it really is a mess. So what did you think about this story? When you looked at that, what did you think about the Ballad of Dusty Good? Did you think it was pretty much deserved when it went out there, or do you think that's kind of a sad thing? I think it's kind of a sad reflection personally when I look at it, not because it wasn't deserved, but because this person, I mean, they were so thirsty, their own word here within this statement, and they couldn't get anybody to listen. And instead, when they did that, within a few short tweets, they managed to talk themselves out of what they had already built up because, well, nothing. They gained nothing at all from it. But anyhow, tell me what your thoughts are on this. Thank you.